Mrs. Green Apple with the song Aoto Natsu, which is Blue and the Summer. Look, I have been kind of enjoying this Mrs. Green Apple journey that I have just kind of like ended up on because I was talking to you guys and, you know, people kind of influenced me to check out some of their songs, and obviously Mrs. Green Apple are just everywhere here in Japan. Like the local shopping mall right next to where I am, you go in there and like the entire shopping mall seems to have a commercial thing going on with Mrs. Green Apple at the moment. So you walk through and there's Mrs. Green Apple pictures on the doors, there's Mrs. Green Apple pictures everywhere. This band is massively culturally significant. So it makes me really happy that, in the same way that I've said so often, they are at the pinnacle of the Japanese chart music scene, and yet like so many of the other groups who I followed previously in that space, YOASOBI, Ado, these are actually artists who are producing fantastic music. And again, this makes me so proud to follow and be involved with the Japanese music scene because of the fact that, you know, even the pop music here is great. Even if you listen to the stuff that's topping the charts, it's great. But why am I going back to this song that came out in 2018? It's not a new one at all. Apart from the fact it's got almost 200 million views. Basically, you guys recommended this. I had a couple of people, actually a few people have recommended that I check out this particular song. It's an oldie, but it's a goodie. Now, as mentioned, because I've been in Japan for years, there is a possibility I may have heard this in the background. If I've heard this years ago and forgotten it, apologies. But you know, it's one that I might have come across, and I'll let you know if I have. But as far as I'm aware, this is the first reaction. This is my first time hearing it. I'll let you know if I find out that's not true. But yeah, I'm just kind of intrigued. Again, I've been enjoying a lot of their most recent stuff. I've been enjoying how they've been ruling the charts. I've been enjoying all this kind of stuff. Been enjoying the arrangements as well. Some really cool song arrangements that beautifully balance that line between both having pop quality, pop value, but at the same time having like being accessible, but having some nice intricacies, delicate bits of proper songwriting in there. Everything you want from good quality pop music. So all of that, but we're going all the way back to 2018. I think the oldest song we checked thus far, most of the songs I've been checking out have been relatively new. I checked out Inferno, which I think was quite an old one. But I think this will be the oldest Mrs. Green Apple song that I've checked out so far. Let me know in the comments, as always. Usual thing, if you enjoy this, liking and subscribing, but most importantly, we've got a Discord community which has been going for years now. We're all about discussing all different types of music, so whatever your taste, we've got people who are into rock, metal, pop, you name it. We've got people into everything Japanese, so feel free to get involved. Links in the description for that as well. But let's jump in with some Mrs. Green Apple Aoto Natsu. Let's go. That's those summer sounds again.
ずっと君を見てた。
叶わなかった。
昨日までの当たり前が
一瞬で壊れることを知った。
誰かが誰かを思うように。
It's like a full-on movie trailer intro.
友達がいた。
誰にも取られたくなかった。私はこの世界で脇役なんだと知った。
どれだけ本気でやったってどうにもならないことを知った。
Let me run this back with some subtitles on, because I get the feeling this is one. I'm getting little bits of this, but I feel like we should understand this properly. Let's run that back again.
ずっと君を見てた。
叶わなかった。
昨日までの当たり前が。
No subtitles. All right, fair enough.
誰かが誰かを思うように、私も誰かに思われる日が来るのだろうか。
友達がいた。
誰にも取られたくなかった。私はこの世界で脇役なんだと知った。
どれだけ本気でやったってどうにもならないことを知った。これは僕らの夏の物語だ。
Okay, that's not the way I expected that to kick off. Back in the day, this is not unheard of to have these big dramatic intros to like upbeat pop songs. Immediately with the anthemic melodies. Oh, don't cry. Oh, I like that little stop-start bit there. Oh, I'm liking those little sort of pause start bits there, you know, little pause, go. It's like little touches again, it's the little touches you can hear in this. Elevate it. It does seem to be the video on this song. All about that yes, you know, little bits. Seems to really all be about the nostalgic connection to friends. Friends you lose, the friends you keep. Summer. I'm loving these little pause bits they're putting in there. Nice use of the strings there. I wish there wasn't so many people crying in Mrs. Green Apple videos. Okay, this is filmed in Miura, isn't it? I recognise this area way too well. Oh, that's a nice change up there. Bringing that energy back in. There's so much going on in this arrangement. That's really punchy. Yeah, I can see why this has got 200 million views. That at 5 minutes, that is one hell of a. That is impressive. That is impressive. That is impressive. Yeah, this is one of those ones where I have to break down so much here that I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to remember everything I want to break down. At first, I was going to talk about like the little stop-start cool bits that appear in the arrangement. I was going to talk about like the layering of the instruments, but there was so many regular appearances. By the way, the drummer's no longer a member of the group. That's kind of a shame. I like them as a four-piece, but fair enough. This was so interesting, and at the core, I have to, before I get into any details, I have to address that one thing that I said before. This is the scene that made me think, by the way. I have to address that one thing that I said before, which is the does this do the thing that I want from Mrs. Green Apple? Does it basically take accessible pop music, the sort of thing that you could play to anyone, whether they're into music or not, and give it the kind of depth and intricacy that means that someone who has maybe listened to a billion songs like I and a lot of musos, like I'm sure maybe yourself have, could also appreciate? Yes, it really does. At the center of this is actually probably one of the simplest chord patterns I've ever heard from a Mrs. Green Apple song, in that it sort of builds up there, and then even with the cadence of the melody at the end of the chorus, da da na 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 bum, just ends, everything resolves. It's a very neatly packaged chorus. It goes around, it's almost got like a folk music style feeling. And the chord pattern goes up and then comes back down. Everything about it is very neatly packaged. It's uncomplicated, it's very accessible, it's almost a very traditional way that the chord pattern and the melody are structured, and there's nothing unusual, nothing complicated. And yet the way it's played and delivered is with so much energy, so many beautiful layers. You know, the guitar, the piano sounds are beautifully layered in there. The bass, I didn't even have much time to focus on the bass as much as I usually do, but the bass was doing some really cool, interesting little bits there that I occasionally caught up. There was those beautiful, like I said, little stops and starts. They didn't feel like forced or thrown in. They were just nice. They accented little moments, like before you go into the chorus, a little bit of a break, and then bam, in it comes. Little moments here and there, like at the end of the first chorus where there was a little bit of a stutter, like a stutter in the actual arrangement. There's all these little bits that felt like they were accenting the feeling, like they were projecting like a little bit of energy and emotion into the arrangement. I loved that. I loved the fact that it came across in the whole band. The whole band felt like they were working together. When there was those little stutters in the music, the whole band kind of skipped a little beat at those points. It really felt impressively well orchestrated, and I use that word advisedly. I mean, obviously we think of orchestrated, we think of an orchestra, but it felt like the whole band felt very complete in the arrangement. And again, taking something that was such a simply written song, to be honest, and and I don't mean that in a negative way, but simply written in that, it was a very kind of traditional, as I say, structure to the melody and the chord pattern, and making it sound so energetic with the number of sounds that were going on in it, with how well they worked together, with the way that the timbre and the energy and the feeling of the song built up to the choruses. That was beautiful. Even the bridge, really, as a good bridge should do, had an extra punch of energy. You felt like the vocal performance, sorry, I keep on forgetting the vocalist's name, even though I know he's the writer and I've been doing these for so long, but the vocalist's energy, he really packed this energy into the bridge, so that the bridge was energized and threw you into the last chorus. Last chorus was brilliant. Have to give credit as well to the video. The video was kind of all over the place. It's kind of like it took you a while to really work out what all these random images really had to do with each other. But yeah, I mean, the video still, it was very punchy. It got across the feeling in the end. And I like the way it was cut really fast. I know some people are not a big fan of that, but I think for a song like this that is full of energy and full of things happening, I think that the video translated that well as well. It kind of did, as a good video should do, it functioned as shorthand for the song. It conveyed the emotions, kind of like the songs kind of seems to have a feeling of a bit of nostalgia, sort of mixture of summer joy and the sadness that nostalgia sometimes brings. That was brought across by some of the stories that we were getting glimpses of, the interactions between the people, but the video cut in a way that was quick and very pacey, like the song itself was. It was moving along at a good, sometimes you get these videos that are supposed to be nostalgic and have feelings, and the scenes are too long, they drag too long, and so you'll have a high-paced song with a slow-moving video, and they don't marry well together. This cut in a very quick way. And the good thing about music videos anyway is, unlike a movie or a TV show, they're kind of designed for you to go back and watch over and over again. So long as it's well framed and well shot, as this was, you can come back a second and third time and pick up on bits you missed the first time round without having to feel like you're just repeating a story. This is really nicely done, I think, the video. And again, in a similar way to the song, it had a lot going on that it balanced really well. So I felt that the video was a great shorthand for the song. And that last bit where they were out in like the school playground sort of sports area, and you had everyone outside and the camera moving around them. Again, once we get to that end bit and everything becomes a little bit, we're not so much cutting between different scenes, but everything becomes much more, okay, we know where we are. The band is in the middle, the students around the outside. Then to keep the pace up, the camera's physically moving. It's moving around. You're getting like this panorama effect, which is really cool for injecting that energy back in. I felt the song, the video, the whole thing was beautifully constructed. I do think I've seen clips of this video, but without the song. Sometimes that can happen where you can just like, there'll be TV screens or maybe even advertising boards, and you'll see like a video, but then you won't be hearing the song because either it'll be muted because it's an outdoors advert, or it'll be something where maybe you're just like, say you're, let's use the stereotype, say you're in Shibuya Crossing and you see a music video playing, but there'll be like a billion and one other sounds and probably closer to you, so you don't really hear the videos. I thought this was absolutely fantastic. Now, I am going to quickly address, this to me looks a lot like the port town of Miura. It could be anywhere in all fairness, but the reason I think it looks like the port town of Miura is this, and Miura instantly is where it's a place that I have a very soft spot for. There's an island near to Miura where a video was recently filmed for the band Neki, and I correctly identified that just from one path. So I'm wondering, it was a mixture of this, and then there was a shot earlier of her, this one. Is this the staircase I'm thinking of? It looked a bit like it, oh, maybe not. No, that's not the staircase I was thinking of. Staircase I'm thinking of, there'll be a shop at the bottom. Okay, so maybe it's not Miura. Okay, it might not be, but I'm going to quickly just check and see where this was filmed. Oh, man. Because I'm just kind of intrigued. Like, the location, again, was very evocative. That worked really well for it as well. So, okay, it's probably not Miura. Where was Mr. Green Apple Aoto Natsu filmed? Let's see if I can get an answer. These searches looking. It was filmed. Okay, so it was filmed in Saitama and Kanagawa. Kanagawa is where Miura was. Saitama Prefecture. I was right. Hold up. I was right. Filmed in Miura, Kanagawa. Oh my god. The staircase scene. Okay, what? Okay, this is. You know, what's that game where people like? Was it geolocating game? I need to start playing that. Oh man, that was filmed in Miura as well. Oh my god, I was right. I have been in Japan for too long. Nah, it's not. You can never be in Japan too long. Oh, this, by the way, this is a good point, though. No, when visiting these locations for holy site pilgrimages, fans are advised to avoid disturbing local business and residents, as some sources caution against inquiries that could disrupt operations. That's very true, by the way. Be a little bit cautious about going to these places. Don't just sort of sit there photographing with people in the background. These are functional places. But it's interesting for me because, like I said, I've got so much time around Japan and these places that I'm just very familiar with these places. So for me, it's more nostalgic because I've been to these places before, so I kind of recognize them. But I was thinking, I was like, oh, maybe I'm going a bit too far thinking that I can recognize these places. God, this is really impressive. That actually is. So that's in Miura. I'll be honest, I don't know if that's the staircase I was thinking of, but there are a lot of these kind of staircases in Miura. So yeah, it might be the one, because I'm thinking of the one from the movie Turtles Are Surprisingly Fast Swimmers. That's the English translation of the title, with Juri Ueno. And one of the most famous scenes in that is filmed on a staircase where she falls over and there's apples rolling down. Anyway, I'm not gonna waste your time with that now. This was fun. I enjoyed the song. I enjoyed the video. Ton of fun with this. I'm really enjoying checking out Mrs. Green Apple. To be honest, at first I was thinking, is this just one I'll do because it's something popular? You know, I'm always honest on this channel. I don't follow up on things if they don't really appeal to me. There are some very well-known artists who I'd get a lot of views if I covered, who I kind of don't, because I think my Discord community knows that just kind of like I wasn't enjoying them, and I don't want to pretend. So yeah, I'm really excited that this is something I'm genuinely enjoying this, and it's really cool. The last two songs I've heard, I think it's the last two, mate. The one with the god finger painting, and then this one, probably my two favorite ones I've heard so far. So yeah, the recent stuff has been really great as well. I'm just enjoying this a lot. So thank you so much for sharing this journey with me. As always, get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.